Start off the work session at 9:09. Start with Mr. Manor.
Okay, we need a health insurance broker. Slowly Insurance they're going to be mad at themselves someday. But first time I called them, the guy said, "Well, there's this Lisa handles it. I'm surprised she hasn't called. I haven't called." She called me 4 days later. Okay. Before I went on vacation, I called and left a message so I could have her here today. She has not returned my call, and that was a week and a half ago. I left a message for her. So I think that's a message from Slowly. They're not that interested in their business.
Right.
I got the name of someone from Rick Amos. She could do the job, but I didn't think she had the experience with groups that we would prefer. She was more focused on individuals. So she is an option, but I wondered if the trustees deal with anybody.
Well, I have a group lady that I'll send. She handles large groups,
Okay.
businesses, communities, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
So,
go. Send that to me. I will have her here at the next.
Company, keeping the same company?
well, yeah, they do medical mutuals. So they
Oh, yeah, we'll still have medical mutual.
Just
This
do a
is an
record.
independent broker.
agent record change. That's all.
Maybe see who other communities, like maybe Concord uses, or
I sent out a request to all the other townships asking who they used, and none of them responded. That never happens. We all trade information all the time, salaries, everything.
maybe give Andy a call over in Concord. Just
Sure.
Hey, Mike,
Yes.
not that you guys need to hear from me on this, but I do have 2 insurance brokers that I deal with a lot of my other communities. I could at least send you their names just to add to the pile if you want.
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay.
I would hate just to pick a person that responds and go with them without.
Well, Gabe has someone he's willing to recommend, so I prefer to go with somebody that he recommends.
And I've used her a lot in the past, so, because we don't sell it, so we partner with her on any business that comes to us and wants, so we'll sell business insurance, but they want health insurance, she handles all that side for us, so. She's not affiliated with Allstate, but she's who we refer everybody to. So I'll give you her info, this is you.
Hey Gabe, this is Mike. Does she represent the same company that we're using now?
Yeah, I mean, all brokers sell medical mutual, Anthem, blah, blah, blah. They all pretty much
Okay.
have access to the same companies. So, like I said, it's just a matter of, we like what she has to say, she's willing to take it, we just do an agent record change and move it over to her, and then she handles the account from there.
Okay, thanks. JED status, we're just going a little bit back and forth with Gabe and John Albers on making sure the numbers, that the split numbers are what we think they should be. Then John will draft the agreement between the communities, and all 3 communities will have to read the draft, agree to it, vote to adopt it. So I think we're okay on our timeline that you asked me to make up. The only deadline I'm behind on, and it's not really a big deal, is the map of the JED. I was waiting for Dave Radasky to finish our 6 CRA maps before I asked him for the JED map, but it won't take him that long to put the JED map together. That was due August 15th, but I'll have that in the next few weeks. So I'm hoping at the next meeting, we'll be able to decide amongst, this board will be able to decide that the agreement's acceptable as it's written, and we can send it to the other communities and ask them to approve it. I have no idea how long it'll take the other communities, but we need to move it from here for the next step. Okay?
So while we're on that, let's discuss, Josh, shares a concern, I know I do. Gabe, probably you can help us with this. The split on if they move a business from Mentor into Township.
Yeah.
The only concern would be is that they can push that harder than they would anything else because they're going to get the back end filled. So they would push moving a company currently in Mentor.
Why would they move a company to get
Because
40% versus 100%?
Because then they can backfill it on 100%
Because
side.
they're out of space, they can free up space.
They can free up space by pushing to relocate anybody.
I mean, I highly doubt that they're gonna risk pushing a business out that's there and established and producing 100% income tax and real estate tax revenue for something that they might get into a business.
Well, they're gonna get
From a
real estate.
business standpoint, I don't see that making sense.
They're getting real estate tax regardless.
Well, unless it's paid, with vacant, nobody's paying it, then if they,
Well, somebody pays eventually.
But
I don't know.
possibly,
I
you
would
know,
like to think they're in it as a good partner, but I've seen other cases where they are only out for themselves and not a good partner, looking to take advantage of other communities wherever possible.
so we have an empty lot that nobody's interested in. They push somebody in there and we only get 50% instead of 70% that we weren't getting anyways. I still don't see the issue. That's my take on it. I don't see the negative. Even if that happens, I don't see how that's a negative for us. If they fill a vacant property that we don't have to fill, that's been sitting vacant for a business, and it's producing money into our jet for us, even if, God forbid, they decided they were going to be shady and do that, I just don't see how that's a loss for us. And, you know,
Well, because if they didn't do that,
then we have nobody in there anyways. So
I
how
don't know,
do
but
we?
if they got outside businesses to come in, then we're getting more and they're getting less.
I mean, I think that you're creating a situation that is really going to be non-existent. That they would work that hard, push a business out of the location, well, to try to fill it with somebody else.
They might not even push them out. They might say, hey, move over here to the township. We'll give you this vendor incentive grant or something.
They can't, if they're in the township, they can't give them a grant out of the township.
Out of their own spot.
I'm thinking they could give some sort of incentive to these businesses if they move out of the city into the township, frees up space in the city. I mean, I'm okay if there's a couple businesses and that happens, that's fine. I just don't want them actively doing that, and I wouldn't put it past them to do it.
I think that that is something that would be almost not happen like possible to happen, and if it did, it would be so far and few between that they would risk pushing an established business out of their community to try to get somebody else in. I just don't see.
I think they would go for some sort of limit of X businesses, 5 businesses over.
Why would we do that? If we have vacant property that's not being utilized,
Yeah, I'm not
even
thinking that way.
if they put businesses in there that produce income for us, why would we limit the amount of income that we would get from the jet if they're sitting empty forever? I'll give you an example. Look at Vacant Road, Denny Cruz's property. That thing has been sitting vacant for 100 years. Nobody wants it. If they can push one of their businesses in there and we still get a portion of the revenue that we weren't getting that before, I still don't see how it's a loss for us.
What was there 100 years ago? Oh, so it's more than 100 years.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, should be a zoning or development, right? So I don't see, even if that was to happen, which I think is so far-fetched, that even if it happens, I don't see how it's a loss for us. And I find a hard time believing that not only would it happen once, it would happen enough times that it would become an issue, that they would push that many businesses out of their community to try to get somebody else in. I just don't see, I don't see it being a concern at all, that it would warrant putting a
Really,
limit
at
on
this
it.
point, we've already agreed, we've got things moving through. So the only concern I would have with readdressing it is that they might readdress deeper on their end, and then we stall this thing right with the end that we want. So,
Yeah, and I cannot foresee them pushing multiple businesses out of their own community. That would be foolish.
I can see it.
For what, an unknown? You're gonna move an established business that's making revenue to push them out for an unknown business that who knows how long they're gonna last? I mean, how many employees are they gonna bring? How long is that gonna happen? How long, you have a known entity that produces, that has an established relationship and a reputation in your community, and you're gonna say, move out for this unknown? I just don't see that being something that a community, would you do it? Would you push it, if you had a business in our community that's been here 10, 15 years, established, employed, good relationship, part of the community, would you push them out for an unknown business to come in there that you don't know what they're gonna do? I mean, think about it from that standpoint.
Push them out is the thing, but
I mean,
say, hey, they might have somebody who's wanting to come into a specific space. And they say, hey, we have somebody that wants to come in here. It could be a national company that wants to come in here. Space isn't available. Let's get company X to move to the township. We'll bring this national company in and fill that space. I know it is late in the game to do anything, but it is a concern that I had, and then rereading stuff just popped back up. I just wanted to bring it up. I don't know if they would agree, if nobody sees it as an issue, that it's not really gonna happen, no more than once per year, no more than one.
I don't think it's
per year.
gonna, I bet you it happens once in the whole JED, let alone per year. I cannot see a community once per year pushing a business out to try to maybe get one in. I just,
Maybe if they feel that way, if they feel the same way, putting a limit of once per year on it, maybe it wouldn't be a big deal. If they're like, oh, this is never gonna happen anyway.
so let me put it that way. So we have a vacant property that nobody wants, but Mentor can fill it, but we've had one per year, and we're gonna say, nope, sorry, we don't want it because we'll let it sit vacant now because we don't want you to have more money. I just don't see from a business standpoint how that makes sense for us.
I think
If the whole point is to get our properties filled, build on them, right? So build on them so we get new real estate taxes because the real estate tax will go up with the development. Income tax into our JED, employment into our community because the more businesses you have, the more jobs you have, the better the community is. Why we would fight that simply because Mentor might get a little bit more piece that we weren't getting any. I just don't see why we would want to limit our access to businesses coming into the community simply because they're going to get a little bit more money.
over time, I think businesses are gonna come, I think it'll fail over time. I don't know, I mean, that's my concern, if,
I share the concern, but I feel at this point it's too late in the game. And the concern I would have is that things are examined to a greater level by somebody who slows the process.
Yeah, then you open the books back up
You
again.
open up a can of worms, that's not gonna, I'm good with leaving it as it is.
Okay.
I understand your point, I have the same, but I'm good.
Okay.
All right, let's move on. Mike?
Yeah, the CRA, we are almost there. We're almost ready to submit our application to the county commissioners. They cannot approve or well, they can, but they have to file the application with the state of Ohio because the township cannot. I have some paperwork to organize to make the application complete. And the only other thing that I think we have to do is Gabe and I meet with the school boards because we're required to consult with them. I'm hoping by the next meeting, we're ready to file the application for the CRA. The next thing that could slow this down is we're asking school superintendents and somebody from the school board to meet at the beginning of this particular school year. They may be a little busy, so we may have trouble getting a quick appointment. But whenever we can get the appointment to talk with the school boards, we're ready to file our CRA application. It's just about done.
Good.
Okay. Next is the children at play signs. Josh has to.
Real quick, they don't start until September 8th, so maybe if you could try and get us in before they start.
Oh, yeah, I'll call tomorrow.
Because they pushed it back, so they do have a couple of weeks window where we might be able to squeeze in because
They're still pretty busy.
Yeah.
No, I'll call them just to get the process started. Got it.
so children at play signs, I know it comes up, it came up recently, what are you smiling about?
We're on the township cam, dude.
Oh, okay, no, I'm smiling. So, the Ohio Revised Code that we operate by says that we have to maintain our traffic control devices in accordance with the Ohio Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices. So ORC says we shall maintain our traffic control in accordance with that. With that said, the children at play signs are not in the manual, and ODOT's stance on them are they shouldn't be there, they should come out. Everything else I can find says they should come out, they're not safe. People think they make things safer, but it creates a false sense of security. It encourages people to play in the road, which they shouldn't. And it can create a more dangerous situation than not having them.
How does it encourage people playing the road?
Because the parents see a sign that says, you know, they're warning motorists to slow down, so it's safe to play on the road. I don't know if you guys Googled the signs, if you found.
So let me just cut to the chase here.
If you found anything.
I read what you sent, it was understood. I disagree with that opinion. I think that's an assumption. Regardless, when the second person requested the same thing on a road, and then I think you took a picture.
I took a picture.
You took the picture?
Yeah, so what happened? Somebody on one of the roads requested that we put up a slow children at play sign. And there's, 12 houses on the street. So I went out there to look at it. there's already a slow children at play sign on that street. So the person that requested it didn't even
see it.
know or
I mean,
see that it's there.
Granted, it's on like a pole that's like pretty far from the road, but it's still on the street. I think, you know, they want, she said, oh, I didn't even notice it, but so it is there. But that one, most are like right on the road, like most, that one's like set
Yeah.
off. I don't know why that's like somebody's front yard. Do we even put that up or they put that up? I mean, it almost looks like somebody, because you see how far that pole is off the road, you almost wonder if that was something the homeowner put up because it was like so far into their yard, but
So, I mean,
I guess Bill would know that better than us.
So I looked for any article that said, these are safer, they make the road safer, you should put them up. I couldn't find anything. I Googled it, everything I clicked on had the same message of, number one, they're not in the manual anymore. They're not compliant. They create a false sense of security, and for the good of the community, they should be taken down. So my stance is we shouldn't put any more up, and I really think they should all come down. I asked my wife, I said, what do you think about the one on our street? Should we take it down? Well, I don't know. Do you know if we have one on our street? Nope, don't know. I mean, so people don't know if they're on the street or not. Do you? We do not. When there's so many signs, people ignore them. On a residential street, drivers should expect people to be out. It's a residential street. They should expect children to be in the area. So putting up an additional sign is not beneficial. So I think we should start taking them down and start to move back into compliance with the manual and the Ohio Revised Code. I don't know if you guys were able to find any other articles that said so otherwise.
Bill said he already had the sign, so that's what prompted. It's not something we had to buy. Bill said he already had the signs in storage, and so I'll just put one up if you guys say okay. So that's when it's not the email.
Well, yes, and so he said he had the signs, and I said, hey, well, what about, the slow children at play? He's like, oh, that's not in the manual anymore. And so this went kind of round and round, and because I didn't realize those were no longer permitted.
That's not, they're not permitted, they're just not they're not saying that they're not recommended, right?
Any sign, if it's not in the Ohio Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices, it is not a permitted sign. Jeremy or Jason, do you guys want to weigh in at all?
I'll let Jason weigh in a little bit. He did most of the research on it. Obviously, just the general research that we did came across the same stuff you did, Josh, that they're not in the manual, they're not recommended. ODOT even says that they do create a false sense of security. And Jason can fill in the blanks a little bit more. But either way, whether we have them or don't have them, we have immunity that we wouldn't be liable. If somebody asked for a sign and we didn't put it up and something happened, we would not be liable for it. If we did put up a sign, something happened, we wouldn't be liable for it. Jason, I don't know if you want to add anything to that. He did a lot of the legal research on that.
Yeah, I guess first I would say just from the purely legal side of it, if somebody were to bring, a lawsuit, because we didn't have a sign up and, God forbid something happened, it'd have to be a negligence claim. Now in that Ohio Revised Code that Josh mentioned, I think it's 451111, does require all signs to be in conformance with Ohio's manual. And that slow children at play sign is not in there. So that is a non-conforming sign. So if I were arguing that case, I would argue that statute, puts a duty on you to only use conforming signs. If you put one up, you're breaching that duty. And then you have to show causation and injuries. I think causation would be difficult to prove. It'd be hard to prove that this accident happened because that sign was up but even assuming you could meet all that, sovereign immunity would kick in and the township, wouldn't be exposed to any liability. But I would echo what Josh said, and I did a lot of digging myself too, and every single article I read said they're bad news and they should be taken down. Now, I didn't see any real studies that were done on it. But I want to say, even of all the other states I looked at, New York State is the only one that even has it still in their manual. And even then, it's only supposed to be used in situations where your typical driver may not think there actually are kids there. Because another thing it does, like on Josh's street, for example, if you don't have a sign up, you know, drivers might take that as, oh, well, there's no children around here. You know, I don't have to be vigilant. But all the articles echoed, you know, they don't work. They don't make drivers more vigilant. You know, could create a false sense. You know, maybe parents aren't watching their kids as much because they think it's okay to play in the street. Children might see it and take that as, oh, I'm allowed to play in the street. So, I mean, from a purely legal standpoint, which I guess is our purposes here, there's not really any real liability. You know, that doesn't mean the city might not get sued and some creative attorney might create a headache for us. But ultimately, I don't think there'd be any liability because of the sovereign immunity. But from the practical standpoint, like I said, everything I read said not only should you not put more up, but you should probably take the ones down you have.
All right, thank you. So, I'm kind of positioned to leave up what we've got, at least for now, and then hopefully we're up.
I think we should really take them down. We're not in compliance with the Ohio Revised Code. I guess I don't know why we would leave up non-conforming signs. If there's a reason, is there a reason we want to leave them?
Haven't done I need to do more study.
Okay, I tried to get all the information out before today to give everybody time, but can you put it on the working session agenda for next meeting?
I mean, my opinion is, while it says that they aren't part of the manual, they don't say you have to take them down. We're not liable for having them up. You're going to really, I feel, piss off people that are in the neighborhood that have some attachment to them. They're not hurting anything. We're not liable. I see it, what Chuck said is, don't put any more up, but the ones that are up, leave them up until the day comes that they need to be taken down for wear, whatever, and then at that point we don't replace them. But all the
articles say they're creating a danger. They're creating a false sense of security, and they're doing the negative, the opposite of what people think they're doing. People think they're making it safer, letting drivers know, but it is actually a false sense of security, making it a dangerous situation.
All right, so like on my street, we've got it. And every time I go past that sign in both directions, I really have the opposite effect. I actually watch it closer because I know there's kids. Not that I don't otherwise. You always got people parking on the streets, which is turning into a real fiasco. But it has the opposite effect on me, honestly. So,
I mean, it goes the same way with a speed trailer, let's say, right? There's speed limit signs up and down the road that tell you not to go over the speed limit, and yet people get speeding tickets every day. But when somebody sees that speed limit sign, in a lot of cases, I know it happens to me, that speed trailer, I don't see it, I come upon it, I'm like, oh crap, I'm doing 35, it's 25. I slow down, right? So, I mean, does the speed trailer give people a false sense of security? If that's the case, then why are we doing it? You know, because we're reminding people not to speed, right? We already have speed limit signs up. Speed trailers to remind people that there's a speed limit on the road and not to speed and that they're going over the speed limit. I feel like the child signs do the same thing, and as Chuck said, some people will see that bright yellow sign and maybe take a glance at their steering or their speedometer, just like they do with a speed trailer, because it raises their attention to that maybe they're doing something they're not supposed to be doing, which is going too fast or being more aware. I know there's articles that say that it gives people a false sense of security, but in my mind, I don't feel any safer with speed limit signs on my road because they tell people not to go fast. I know my kids are out on the road and I constantly tell them to watch their cars because people constantly speed in our neighborhood, and yet we have 25-mile-per-hour speed limit signs throughout the neighborhood, and Painesville Municipal Court is full of people every day that have speeding tickets or multiple speeding tickets. So I think that can be said of any sign that it isn't effective, but it's there, serves a purpose. And I'm with Chuck. I just feel like people see it it may give them a second glance to be more aware. It may not do anything. And as a parent, I don't feel it would give me a false sense of security. Just the speed limit signs don't make me think that people are going to be driving. Doesn't give me the feeling that people are going to go 25 on my road. I know they're not. There's signs all up and down that do that. So I feel it acts the same way. So I could see saying, let's not put any up. Somebody asks, you can just say, hey, they've changed the manual. But at this point, I don't want to go into neighborhoods and take people's signs down and create an issue greater than the one that's already existing.
So the speed trailer is there to reinforce a regulatory sign that is in compliance with the manual and Ohio Revised Code. I mean, that's the issue. Speed limit signs are regulatory signs.
I get it, but it's doing the same thing. It's reminding people that they're supposed to be watching their speed. Just as a sign for kids is what you're supposed to be watching for kids. And people don't pay attention to any of it, except when you see a trailer, it reminds you, hey, am I going too fast? So if you're going down the road, hey, maybe I should keep a better eye out. There's kids around in the neighborhood, or there's a deaf kid in the neighborhood. I mean, we start taking, is the deaf kid sign, is that, I mean, deaf people, is that, what's that fall under?
So warning signs are the diamond-shaped signs. So the manual has permitted warning signs, and they are the square, it's not really a diamond, it's a square turn, rotated. Those are the permitted warning signs. So these 12-inch by 18-inch rectangular signs are not they're not a warning sign.
So do we make them a bigger size? Is that, then it meets the standard?
So the warning signs in the manual are for playgrounds. There's a handful of permitted warning signs that are in there.
Is deaf child one?
Yes.
So so does that give those parents a false sense of security then that their deaf child can go play in the road because there's a deaf child sign? I mean, that same logic would apply then, that if that works for that, to warn people so people are more aware of a deaf child in the road, why wouldn't this apply here? I just don't understand how, or there's a playground, where are the differences? I get that they're in the manual, but from the standpoint of the argument of taking ones down simply because they create a false sense of security, I think that could be applied to any sign that's on the road that warns people of something.
So ODOT states that by overuse of signs, you are really they're no longer effective. They're not warning people of the issue or the danger that could be there, which is what those slow children signs do. There's so many of them. They're in locations where you should expect there to be children out and about in a residential neighborhood. The use of the playground ahead or the deaf child or deaf person, those are more rare uses. And when you don't have sign clutter everywhere, when you have the warning signs that are really appropriate, it makes them stand out more. It's not sign overload. It makes the necessary signs more effective. So I think we beat this one enough. I would ask that if you spend some time between now and the next meeting, do some more research. If you can find anything that says they're beneficial, share it. But if we can't, if all the articles from the professional societies and organizations say they create a false sense of security, they're making things more dangerous, I don't see why we would keep them. If you can find something that says, yes, they're beneficial, share it, and I won't go away and stay totally quiet, but I'll quiet down some.
Okay, move on.
Okay, the Haddon property purchase, it should be filed in the recorder's office by the next meeting. Just a couple of paperwork things that popped up the last couple days before I went on vacation, so I'll get those corrected, and we should be good with that property by the next meeting.
Speaking of, I don't understand what this is for.
That person is asking you, George Haddon.
Yeah, these guys sends a $1,000 check.
Yeah, and he sent you a letter. He's asking you, did we get it?
I mean, he would have sent it here. Did you guys get it in cash yet?
We received the check.
Okay.
Okay, so we did get it. That arrived in yesterday's mail. I didn't know if you'd talked to him or what.
No, I have no idea. I haven't talked. He just asked months ago where to send the check.
Okay,
So-
I can respond. We received the check back in March.
And you can't, and it was cash, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I can
just-
respond to him, but since it was addressed to you.
Oh,
I
yeah,
thought-
I have just, I didn't know what this meant. So yeah, if we have it and it's been cashed, just,
Okay.
we'll just send a letter back, have Karen or somebody send a letter to say, yeah, thanks, it's been received.
Sure.
So in the Google Drive, there were rental agreements or use agreements and a contract with or for Concord Girls Softball. When that was in there last meeting, I brought up the issue or my concern over the contract not having a end date or an opt-out for either party. I still didn't see it in there, although Jeremy said it was in there.
I think,
Yeah, we have after, so I can't remember if we sent that maybe last week, after Bill and Gabe came back to us with the couple edits, we edited everything, and one of them was that agreement. I can send you guys the agreement right now that we redid.
excuse me, Jeremy, I'm sorry. What happened was I placed the original agreement that you questioned in the folder before I went on vacation. Last week, Jeremy sent the corrected version, and I did not update it with the current, the version that Jeremy and Jason did with the corrections.
Why don't you forward it? You got it right now?
I have it, or I don't know if, do you have it, Mike, or I have it, I can send it to.
I can find it.
Okay.
And
I have it up right now. I can send it right now if you want.
Yeah, just send it.
is that something we need to do for this year, although we don't even own the property yet, it sounds like?
I mean, they're
Using
their
it.
season.
Yeah, we don't own the property yet.
So, I mean, is it at this point, we just kind of ignore the situation for this year, and then moving forward, we enter into some sort of agreement?
Yeah, it's not even our property yet. So it's the school, still in the school, not us.
Okay, so, all right, so yeah, if you want to send it over, I can take a look at it between now and the next meeting, and if I have any other questions.
I think they're wrapped up by they have their tournaments in August, September anyways, and then they're wrapped up for the year, so.
Because I don't know if we need to include anything with, signage. I know they've got stuff strapped to the backstops with their sponsors, which is fine. They also have a sign that says, this field's reserved by Concord Girls Softball. That could be the case, but there could be other groups that reserve it as well. So I don't know that we want signs like that strapped to the backstop. So.
To the ORC.
I'll have to check. I'll get back to you the next meeting. So yeah, so we're not signing anything between now and the next meeting, and no. All right.
Gabe, I don't know who's signing this on behalf of the Concord League. I've never talked to those people. Who is our?
I'll refer them to you. Once next year, I'll make sure that I'll tell them when it comes time to contact the town hall for contract. Whoever, the same person does it, or if they hand it off to somebody else. But there's like a whole board of directors and all that. It's pretty well set up thing that they do. So
One trustee asked me to put it on the next work session. One trustee said we'll do it next year. What are we doing?
well, we don't even own the property. They're done. I think they're gonna be done by the time the property transfers. So saying there's no point in entering a contract for something that's 90% done anyways.
I think we have some months to figure it out, but if the documents are done, ready for us to look at, then we can talk about it next meeting, but
Absolutely.
don't
I
worry
think
about.
I don't think we can engage them in anything else at this point.
All right.
They've been taking care of the infield as always. They've handled labor and cost of that.
They've actually made a fair number of requests to Bill to do things that we're not doing. They wanted to know if we were going to pull the weeds and maintain the infields. The agreement was they would take care of the infield.
I think it wasn't pulling, it was just spraying, wasn't it?
We've been spraying every week.
Yeah, they asked us to spray. We said we would spray when we mowed. Was that?
Well, they wanted us to spray every week.
I
Yeah,
thought,
just different
I
requests.
thought the agreement says we'll spray there and we spray the sidewalks on Menor Avenue.
Well, they haven't seen an agreement yet. We've not sent this to them.
That's kind of what we've been doing.
Yeah, that's-
If we spray the sidewalks,
After the request, Bill told them we would spray when we had the sprayers out and they were fine.
Because, yeah, I don't want to get into spraying it all the time.
I think we've probably sprayed 3 times this summer. And then spraying it then, we went up and just kind of touched it up for them. The day we were mowing, we just
Weed
touched
kill,
it.
you know what they're asking for, is a weed kill, that stuff takes time to kill.
Yeah,
I mean, if they've got a tournament going on, and they call you in the week, that's not gonna make any difference. right?
yeah, it'll make a difference.
I mean, if they're maintaining the infield, they can always do that if they need to. We're not scheduled to go out and do something. I know the agreement that I looked at says about, you know, if there's any unsafe conditions, they'll notify us. I don't know if that makes us responsible for addressing something. But I thought Bill mentioned that they said, yeah, the number of weeds in the infield could cause a tripping hazard and make it unsafe. I would hate for them in the future to be like, hey, the infield's unsafe. You need to come out and do something. But
And we looked into when they could get on the fields after we sprayed, 15 minutes after you spray, it's dry.
Right.
It's not harmful anymore to anybody.
No, it's still, I mean,
On the MSDS
yeah.
or SDS?
once there's kids out there to pick it up and eat it.
Yeah. No, they good they can.
Right. Like,
Okay, CARES Act funding. We have $224,892 available. We've already spent $82,000. It's a matter of, also, the money that we received from the CARES Act funding, whatever is not spent by Painesville Township must be returned to the Lake County Auditor's Office on October 15th. The Lake County Auditor's Office will then redistribute the funds that we returned to other communities in Lake County that say we spent all ours and we need some. So we need some more. So my suggestion is
October 1st, Mike?
October 15th.
Do we need a chase vehicle for the fire department to keep our guys separated when they're going to calls?
Well, I mean, I do have equipment that I want to get. I have to put that in the.
But I'm serious, I'm serious. If you got two guys in a squad and if somebody else needs to go, do we, instead of putting them in there with them, is it, just like we did with the road department, we did that for the road department to separate enough vehicles so guys could separate when they went out on jobs.
Of course we can.
Yes.
So,
You also had other requests?
I did. There was $49,000 worth for chest compression devices, and what those do is they do compressions for you. So you just strap it on, and it does compressions. Does them better than humans do them. Has a better outcome for the patient, and it doesn't have somebody standing over top of the patient doing compression and having that blow back and back into their face. So it is. I know that.
now those are in lieu of like CPR, so
In
it's,
lieu of CPR, that does a CPR for you. So CPR
can't keep it going until you get to them.
Right.
Okay.
And those things I know by the manufacturer, they sent out letters saying that those have been CARES approved. I've got a list, I put it on there, about 300 of them, communities that have bought those with CARES money. So, you know, that we could use 3 of them. It's been on our wish list forever.
Chest compressions?
Chest
How much are
compressions.
they each?
They're,
So 49 was the total, not?
49 is the total, $49,000, yes. That's, they're roughly 15,000 a piece.
I mean, if we could use a chase vehicle to keep people separated, by all means, I think it would be
Okay.
advantageous. I don't know how these guys feel, but the money's there and it's for that funding and that will help the situation.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we definitely could use one of those too.
Interrupt you for a second. Mike, the dollar figure you threw out before was 228 something.
$224,892.
82,000 spent.
Yes.
Now, there is the other thing that I was looking at when I put it in for this report was to, we got a kickback or rebate from Workman's Comp for, let me get them out here, but ours was $44,000. And we bought one of those load systems for the new squad that's going to go in, but the other 2 squads still don't have them, and they're about $25,000 a piece. But that's another thing that, under the CARES Act, that some people are buying load systems because they can limit the crew in the back of the squad. One person can be in the back of the squad. It doesn't take 2 people to unload them. So they are buying load systems with that too. I know I was looking
That was
at.
something that we just put on the new machine, on the new vehicle.
On the new one, yes.
And the other two don't have it?
They don't have it.
This one's set for it, but doesn't have it.
This one's all set up for it, doesn't have it. The other one would have to be sent out with a plate put in the bottom to be able to do it.
BWC
But they-
give us money back?
They gave us $44,000 back to use however we wanted, to the fire department.
To use,
It was
to use for what again?
to whatever, well, it was to use to help us with our CARES expenses or our COVID
Okay,
expenses.
I didn't know if it was
Yeah.
whatever we wanted, or.
Well, it is, they didn't stipulate. They said the $44,000 from workman's comp was like, here, take this back. It's a rebate. We know you guys are all strapped here, do something with it, you know. So theirs is to spend it however.
So I was just wondering if we were to do the load systems to make it a little more social distancing for.
Right, that could go under CARES too.
It all could go under the CARES.
Yeah, in fact, that's on the
Yeah,
list
save the
too.
44.
There's a list of equipment that
I'll
I.
interrupt you for a second,
Sure.
because, yeah, I don't want to go crazy with that, workers' comp rebate, because there's years we get a shaft, the
That's what
other
we're
way.
saying, keep it.
So keep that in the funds, and then the other way.
That's what he's saying, utilize the,
Okay,
CARES
they
Act.
just use it all out of CARES,
Yeah.
that would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
what we're
and
saying.
save the workers' comp, because it's gonna be years, we're gonna take a $44,000 hit.
So between the two, we'd be looking at $90,000.
All right, well.
That still leaves us 30,000.
And then another 40 for a vehicle, so you're still 130, it still leaves us with another 100,000, so
Okay.
Well, we've got 150,000 left, it looks like.
after a vehicle,
No.
So
So not
you're
right
gonna
now.
have, right now,
after the 49, you're saying.
and depending how long we do the staffing the way that we're doing it, right now, it's costing a lot of money. It definitely is costing.
So
a
the
lot of
other
money.
extra 100 we could use for that.
It's, I would say right now, most of that, I think we've spent about 50,000 in staffing, and it's gonna be, again, another 25 or more.
Why?
Well, just because guys are on vacation now, we can't move them around.
Yeah, I guess keep it the same.
Because they're not moving people around.
Right, so if I've got 4 guys at this station, I can't take one and put them at the other station. And those guys might all be on vacation this month. You know what I mean? If they take a 2-week vacation, I can't bring somebody in to take their place. I have to have somebody from that station take their
Right.
place. So it is costing, especially now because everybody's on vacation, it's costing us a lot of money.
So where we're at right now is 224,000-ish is what was available.
And I'm sorry to interrupt, Josh, but that includes the 44,000.
Oh, that's already minus the 49,000 for the,
No,
Oh.
it includes the 44,000 the chief is referring to as a rebate from BWC.
So
That's in that 224.
so minus that, we're really at 180.
So if you take out the 44, yes.
Okay, so CARES Act money is 180,000.
Yes,
We've spent about 82.
correct.
So that leaves 100,000. There's 50,000 for chest compression devices.
No, we had 180 left after what we've already spent. That's what he's saying, right?
Yes, correct,
Our net right now is 180 cash.
correct.
How much do we get from the CARES Act?
259?
251 or 259, something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
so
we have 180 left now.
yeah.
Yes,
So 50 for chest compression, about 50 for round numbers for load systems.
Load systems.
100.
So that leaves 80.
And then loading systems.
No, we already got that. That's 80. 49 plus, whatever.
But that's 50,000.
Or 50 minus that 180, so it's 80.
I thought it was
grand.
90 for the loading systems, they're 45 apiece.
No,
No, no,
50
for-
apiece.
For everything, yeah.
Yeah.
I said 90, but it'd be 99,000 actually for the load systems, two load systems and 3 chest
And the
compression.
compression, so combined, 490.
100, yeah.
It's called 100 per
Yeah,
each.
call it 100.
That
yeah.
leaves
100, or
80,000.
at least 80,000, so, you know,
We have a chase vehicle here.
Right.
Um,
Station 2 could use a chase vehicle.
so you get 30, 40 grand there, that leaves us 50 for overtime and other expenses through the, you know.
Right.
And then in the next, I mean, so I guess, at some point, we need maybe we need to pass a resolution to purchase load systems, the chest compression devices
Do you want to do that now, so we just go ahead on that,
today. I would think so.
add that in?
you don't have to pass that resolution today. It could be done at the next meeting. It would be my preference to do it at the next meeting, that way I know the wording's gonna be just right.
But in the meantime, I can just go ahead and
And I need the dollars from
Yeah,
the chief
okay,
anyway, to
exactly.
say you're
But, all right.
authorizing a purchase for
But you
$1,000.
can go ahead and order it now, so we can get it
All right,
out, right, so they can start using it and
Yes.
be safer, and that's,
okay.
I hate to delay that.
Our
do
only
that.
concern with the second chase vehicle, or for Station 2 with the chase vehicle, is that we've already gone 50 grand on manpower, and you're expecting another 50.
I don't know about 50, it depends on how long we keep doing this.
That's the point. So
Yeah.
if this ends in, we have to have it returned by October 15th, and we're still 5-6 months away from an ending, there's gonna be more money that's gonna have to go out. Now it's gonna come out of the general fund. or
It'll come out of that
funds.
44,000.
But anything spent,
It could come out of the
Come out of the
44,000.
And the workers' comp.
Yeah.
so anything spent after October 15th isn't reimbursable. Cares.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing.
So
You gotta spend it by October 15th.
Yeah, I get it, but I guess what I was thinking was I didn't think of the workers' comp thing, but my thought in that process is if you could backfill more money from spending for manpower, and then you'd have money, that would theoretically be freed up out of the general fund.
We can't because it has to be additional costs, not your regular costs, right?
Right,
So
correct.
we couldn't fill extra, pay stuff we would have normally incur. So, and we have to spend it now in less than 45 days,
So
or
here's an idea, I mean, if
60 days, we gotta spend all that money.
So any money
goes
that
back.
we don't spend goes back to the county, and they give out to communities who
Spend
Spend
there,
it all.
they need more.
need
Right.
more, and they're gonna have some time to spend that most likely, right?
Yeah.
So if we spend all of ours on
Maybe we get
expenses,
some more.
and we say, county, yes, we need more,
Yeah,
then we can use that to cover overtime
if we
through
get
the
it
rest
right,
of
yeah.
the year if needed.
Right.
So, I mean,
It's gonna be spent, that's the problem. Money's going back.
No, if we don't spend it, they will.
Right.
but, and that's the thought, if we can spend all of ours and then get more to then cover those expenses, because if we don't spend it all, anything else out of our pocket isn't
Right.
reimbursable, so.
And we have no chance at the second round of money if we have money left. So at this point, I would say any costs that we could make life safe for everybody,
Okay.
let's do it. So I think we're all in agreement on the compression and the load, and then I think get an estimate on a chase vehicle.
Okay.
And go from there.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know, can we stuff off state bid, I'm assuming,
Right, yeah, there's stuff on state bid, sure.
I mean, not the used stuff, but yeah, the
No,
new
no, no.
vehicles.
Yeah.
That's what,
Yeah,
that's gonna come up later
Okay.
anyways, yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna carry that for now? Okay. It'll be on the next agenda, just to keep the discussion going until we're done. The NOPEC Energy Grant. Josh had a question about the numbers.
Very tough.
just go back to sheet one, I believe.
You shouldn't be following this. That's my worksheet.
So
And it's mostly accurate, but I'm not claiming 100% accuracy here.
we should look at your numbers.
Not these numbers. Page 2 is what counts for this year.
Okay, because when I totaled up this 2019 project column to the very bottom, what's there? How did I come up with that number?
I've added it using AutoSum.
Is it a formula?
Yep.
Oh, it is, okay. How come the total in 2019 in the next column over is 52,000?
NOPEC changed it. NOPEC has told us how much they give us, but the first of the year they send a letter, and it always tweaks the amount by 1,000, few thousand. That was the difference. NOPEC gave us a little bit less than I thought they were giving.
Okay, so you thought we had, okay, well, all right. So I believe you that the numbers, okay.
Yeah, no, NOPEC changed the amount from, that I thought we were getting from 2019 to what we were actually getting in 2020. They did the same thing the year before.
Okay,
It's tweaked, they have a formula.
so if you go back to the other tab, then,
We have $4,200 that's left, we haven't used yet. I asked Joey Kelly for a quote on a backup generator for Township Hall, which he's going to give me by last Friday. Now he says he'll get it this week. It'll be right around that amount, maybe a few hundred more. If we get a backup generator for Township Hall, the main benefit is our power blinks or goes out once a month here. Count on it. So that means all the computers go off, you got to restart them. Which here, that's delays you by 5 minutes. But if you're working from home, somebody has to be here to turn your computer on. And if you're working from home in the evening or on weekend, and it happens, you can't dial in.
So the backup generator, the power still goes out. Yeah, when the power cuts out to the building, generator knows it, and it waits 5-6 seconds. Generator then fires up, and then another 10 seconds later, once it's up and running, it powers back the building back on.
Don't they have a switch to that, to make it so it's streamlined?
You could buy a UPS.
It is, well, you buy UPS.
You'd have to buy one for each
Each
computer.
computer, but, so it is an automatic transfer switch. It detects when the power goes out to the building. It waits at 5 seconds to make sure it's actually an outage, not just a blip. Then it fires up, then it transfers you back. I have one in my house.
Okay, it's not that big a deal. I was looking for a use so that we didn't leave any money on the table. When they replaced, I think Whitaker was still the chief, they replaced the windows at Station 1. They didn't do the windows in the back. And I think there's 3 of them. We could do those. I'm sure those will come in under $4,000.
How old is the fridge here?
What?
Refrigerator?
Well, it was here when I got here 8 years ago.
It's here when I got here. Yeah, that might, I mean, that replacing a refrigerator is a energy efficient.
Yeah.
So, the
Windows
combination-
first, then if there's money left, look for a refrigerator.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Same thing, 1 and 2, all of the fridges there. And they just did, both of them are
Yeah,
good?
they're new, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I was like, oh.
What about the road department?
The original from when we, in 08,
But Bill said it was new.
2008, is that refrigerator in there? We bought a small one for out in the garage, the one that broke in the garage for just extra water and stuff, but the one in the road department was from 2008, I believe.
There we go.
Oh,
Official, there you go.
well, then that's an option.
Okay.
Bill said he thought it was like new. So I
So,
asked
yeah,
him,
it's
like,
still shiny, but if it's 12 years old, we had it for 13.
oh, well,
Well, the beer's not as cold as it used to be. In it,
Right.
So maybe.
Right.
but
I could tell within a half a degree.
Bill's approval, so.
but 3 windows can't be
Yeah.
a ton of money, and we don't need
Okay.
$3,000 refrigerators.
I'll do the windows first, and then what's left will be used for refrigeration.
I like it.
Okay. There's one item on it that's not on your agenda. Bureau Workers' Comp sent us 350 masks. They're in bags of 50 each.
I know, I got a bunch too.
Yeah. Is there somebody we want to donate them to? We have enough for ourselves. If we want to keep them, we can. I hate seeing them sit in my office.
See if, maybe Project Hope.
Sure.
And they got a lot of people in and out of there, so maybe they could utilize some of that for when they have, new residents.
Who's up for election next? You want to be the person to give it to them? I'll arrange it, that, if you want to get our picture. But I think that's a good place for them.
I mean,
Nice idea.
taxpayer funded, so it's
It's
not
right
like,
here in the township.
Hey, Mike Patriarca?
Quickly got my.
I need him to sign stuff.
I'm
Okay,
here. I'm here now.
Mike, we need checks and some other documents signed. Are you?
Yeah. I'm gonna come in for the regular meeting.
Okay. Thanks. That's it, Mr. Chairman. I'm done.
What's that?
nothing.
I'm done with my agenda.
We anxiously await your arrival.
Yeah, whatever.
You doubt it? No, I know.
I saw you look down after that. I could see you, You can't see me.
Darn it. Thank goodness. All right, so we're gonna move on. Chief, you wanna go to you next?
Sure, I think we've already went over half of what I wanted to talk about, which is great.
Sure.
But I'll start on a high note. We got an AFG grant for $112,000.
What's the AFG stand for?
Assistance to Firefighter Grant. It's from FEMA. So we got a FEMA federal grant for $112,000 to replace our monitors, cardiac monitors. They're not really, to me, they're not older, 12 years old, but I guess an electronic component, they're ancient.
Right.
And they were losing the ability to use telemetry because they run off a program called 3G and not 4G, which all the satellites are now switched to 4G or 5G. So apparently, when they upgrade towers, we won't be able to transmit. So we were able to get AFG to the Assistance to Firefighter Grant to give us the money to buy the new ones. They're going to pay out of the $112,000. They're going to give us $102,000, and we're going to pay $10,000. All right, so that's the good news. The other thing, and it was in the paper. Josh caught it. I didn't even see it. That they got it from the
Joyce's office, maybe?
where?
Dave Joyce's
From
office?
Dave Joyce's office, that there was Painesville Fire Department got $102,000 off the AFG grant. Josh had to print a retraction and say it was to Painesville Township.
I called him, Sarah.
Oh, they fixed it?
They fixed it.
Did they?
They did put a retraction in
Oh.
there, but it was
Okay.
to, it was online. I don't know if it was in the paper,
Okay.
but it was on the. Yeah, so it was anything like that, yeah, which, okay. Now, Station 3, they're taking the scaffolding down today. It's basically done. They're just doing a few things to button up, but it looks like finally that project's wrapping up. We still have down the road a few more little things to address on that building, but it's not, the big expensive stuff's out of the way. All right. All the guys got tested for antibodies, not all of them. Whoever wanted to, about 30 of the guys did it. It was a program through Tri-C that they were offering it to EMS to get tested. I haven't got my results back. I did it too. So right now, according to them, about 2% of the EMS workers have the antibodies. So only about 2% of the people have it.
Considering they're in direct contact with.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, right, we're in direct contact with patients that are just not, they don't seem to be getting it, so, again, we are wearing the proper protection, but still, that's good.
Well, that's interesting. Only 2% though. I would have thought that would have been higher.
Yeah, only 2%.
You lose them after a while. You lose the antibodies.
Yeah,
After
yeah, I think,
Is it 3 months? That's
No,
short?
they're saying now that they're sticking around for, that was the original, that could be as low. The new
Yeah.
studies I saw just came out, they're saying up to 6 to 8 months, they're seeing them now. But health workers in the hospitals who are dealing with them, average is below 6%. They're actually getting it, so.
Wow.
yep, our rating went from orange to yellow, I don't know if you all saw that.
Level 1.
Yeah, so,
So were we at level 3 before? Or
No,
level
we were
two?
never
High
at-
Impetus 2?
yeah, we were at 2,
Now
we were
we're
at 2 forever, I don't know.
The health department, so the health department was going to voluntarily push us into the red before, all right, this predates DeWine making a statewide mask mandate. They were going to voluntarily push us into the red, which would mask mandate in the county. And that was met with very swift and strong opposition from other leadership, so they nixed that idea. But then a week later, we were put into masks anyway, so. But we were barely, because of the threshold, which is the, 100 cases per 100,000 ratio, we barely tipped above that to put us into orange. But then to get out, you have to be 50 cases per 100,000 on a 2-week measure.
Right.
So to get that out of it, you have to like cut in half what it takes you to get pushed into it. So
Yeah.
it took us a while, but we're well below the threshold.
Yeah, we've been pretty steady with the lower numbers coming in now, that's good. Been in single digits for.
At 2 to 7 per day.
Yeah, so that's good. The only other thing that I wanted to bring up, and I want to start shopping for a K9 car for Gordon. Well, I mean, not through care stuff,
Yeah.
but just, what we did in the past when we bought Gorders was, from this, state vehicle surplus.
The usual, right?
Right, the used one. That's what my car is. The Tahoe, he actually likes those, to put his dog in.
You get in and out?
What's it?
The dog get in and out easily?
Oh, yeah, the dog jumps in and jumps out. Yeah. Yeah, no, the Tahoes, they have he can do the whole back setup for the dog with the Tahoes
Versus a back seat.
versus the back seat, right?
Makes more sense.
So it is a lot better for him. And like my car went in 5,000, I think it was just over 5,000. So and we don't need anything new for him either, simply because number one, he doesn't run emergent, and number two, he's going to be retiring, and the dog's going to be retiring within the next 4 years probably. So, to get anything that lasts longer than 4 years probably just doesn't make any sense. So, and one of the used ones from the state would be just fine. Just so you know, I mean, if that's okay with you guys, we'll start shopping.
What does he need it for?
Oh, he's gonna have, yeah, he has one now, but his car is rusting to pieces.
Okay, so it's to replace an existing vehicle.
Replace the existing one, yeah.
Okay.
It runs good, it just looks really bad, so I think just for the age of it too, I think his is 12 years old, so, it's probably time to replace it. Okay,
Thank you.
that's it.
All done?
Building repairs, you're gonna get that wooden door taken care of?
Yes, yes, I think, Nick's already talked to him, he's gonna take care of that. Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
You see daylight through there.
Oh, can you? Okay.
All right, let's go on to, road department.
Looking for a request for approval for placement of the guardrail on Bryn Mawr, 245 feet. It's gonna cost $9,865. It's falling apart, it's deteriorating, posts are all rotted. There's a small ravine on both sides of it. Got the price from All In Landscaping, they have a fence division, they do the guardrail work for City of Eastlake, local company.
Bryn Mawr goes all the way around to Bel Air.
So
So
it's
he's
the
talking
back-
about the back end.
Yep, on the back
Oh,
side.
it's the back, there's a ravine on the
Yeah.
back side of it? Okay,
Runs
I'm
over to
trying
like
think
Winter
where-
Great Hill.
It's in bad shape.
So when you get to
Yeah.
that end, that like,
Yep,
okay, that little section that like goes around the back?
yes.
Okay.
We contacted Lake Erie Construction who did all that guardrail work on Winter Green last year. They went and looked at it and they just never gave us a price. Won't contact, Bill's called them, they just won't call them back, I guess, so. Contacted this guy, he came out, looked at it, and that price is removal and replacement. So
He's done.
it's done then.
One of those things in the manual of uniform traffic control devices that protect roadway protection.
So circling back, did any of our guys have the antibody?
They don't know yet.
Oh, they
I haven't got my
sorry,
results
I just
yet.
thought about it.
I can't answer
They
that
haven't
one.
done.
I can't ask who, but I can ask
Right.
if anybody did.
We've had some issues at Chrysler Park over the last couple of weeks. There are bolting picnic tables down there, climbing up on the roof of the gazebo.
They took the picnic table off the ground and put it on the roof of the gazebo?
No, they're stacking them up so they can get up there then.
Oh.
But we bolted them back down to the
So we
ground.
bolted them back down, we re-drilled them, put some thread lock on them.
They took them out.
They haven't taken them out since.
But so they were bolted down before?
They were bolted down before,
Weather just probably wore them out, got them out.
so they took a socket down there and unbolted them.
You can always.
Have kids get rowdy, man. Give them back to school.
Yeah, I was
Bar the
gonna ask
thread.
Leary, if they do it again, maybe we can take the welder down there and just kind of weld the bolt, put a weld on it right to the picnic
That
table.
or,
There you go.
is there there's gotta be a fastener that's a special tool to undo. That not-
There probably is.
You need some sort of certain bit or something to.
Yeah.
We have all the bits. We
No,
have
I'm saying like
those
like you're saying
security.
like a specialty head, some,
Yeah.
you know.
Yep, we have those security bits. Because a lot of the playground equipment is like that, they have that. They're taking the bricks out down there, busting the bricks out of the sidewalk.
We're good for so long, man.
Yeah. They chipped, the concrete, looked like they took a hammer to the concrete in the gazebo and knocked a piece off of it.
Hey, can we get with Severs and just have him see what it would cost to put 2 cellular, security cameras down there? Just to see, cloud-based?
The lady across the street has cameras, and that's,
Oh, yeah.
we get a lot of our information from her.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
She made that video for driving.
Oh, yeah, that's
Did she
right.
put background music to, remember that?
They took some furniture down there, somebody was throwing away, stacked it all up down there in the park. So we went and picked that up last week.
You know, next time, take some pictures if you could next time, and maybe we can post them on Facebook.
Shake that, yeah.
Yeah,
And she asked maybe we could put like a porta potty up down there, she said, because
Oh,
the people are urinating and. she
They're
said
breaking
it's
bricks.
crazy.
they're gonna tip that.
That's what I
Imagine what's
told-
gonna happen. to the
That's
porta
what I
potty.
told her, I said, imagine what's gonna happen with that thing.
Right.
Just
New water
another thing,
everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think we take some pictures, try to shame,
Yeah.
you let people know what's going on. I mean, and if residents wanna ruin it, then it comes out, or, I mean,
Yeah, we went down there and pressure washed the gazebo, started to.
And maybe for minimal cost, he can put in some 4G cameras that, you know, 2 of them to get a good wide view, so he at least can start, then he can really put some video up of who knows these people, and then you really,
Yeah, put a
Yeah.
sign up, under surveillance,
as long as their
security.
quality is good enough.
that's what I'm saying, yeah, you put them up on a pole, you get the high depth, that 4K, and make them cellular, then they're easy to use, you don't have to worry about Wi-Fi or anything like that. Awesome, okay.
And then we're applying for the round 35 for the OPWC for in 2022 for Bannerstone from Bohol to Sandstone cul-de-sac and the bubble cul-de-sac, and replace all that with concrete. And then from Foxfire to Bohol, from Bohol to Pine Meadow intersection, Wanderlust and Pine Meadow as well, but we'll replace that with asphalt,
So Foxfire's gonna go asphalt now,
just to Pine Meadow.
so that's the first.
Yeah, that first intersection there, Pine Meadow and Wanderlust.
So
But
we're
then-
gonna have, it's gonna be asphalt and stop and then be concrete the rest of the way?
And then eventually the rest of it will get done.
Will that whole intersection go into asphalt that was replaced too, Josh?
No, because that was just done.
Done 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah, we'll go up to that and we go to side streets.
And then we did Pine Meadow. We did Pine Meadow in 2018, all the joint placement on that. The road
Pine Meadow
department
will
did
get
that.
done.
Yep.
We talked to Ted about doing, what's the next one more? No. Hawk Ridge.
Oh, Hawk Ridge and
and
Dorothea.
Dorothea. That was the first thought, and then he didn't think that was a good project for OPWC, and round, and then settled upon Bannerstone piece, because the first piece of Bannerstone was a wreck.
Yeah,
Getting that in cul-de-sacs.
and Big Rock cul-de-sac's already been done.
Yeah.
And
The rest of it's
we
in
did
good shape.
Bannerstone cul-de-sac in 2018. No, 19. We did Bannerstone. The road department did that.
And you even mentioned, Chuck, a lot of joint repair was done on.
And then Big Rock, we did all the joint repair, because that cul-de-sac had been an OPWC project 3 or 4 years prior to.
Is there a reason why we're not doing all Foxfire?
I don't,
The money, there's not enough money to do all of it.
What happened with doing the curb and gutter and then the asphalt and mill?
That's what we're doing on.
Foxfire, Pine Meadow, and Wanderlust.
Yes.
But Bannerstone will be replaced with concrete, because it's only from Bohol to Sandstone. And then Sandstone will just be the two cul-de-sacs on Sandstone. The full one and the bubble one will be replaced with concrete.
Everything
Because the
else,
rest of that development, the road department has done over the last 2 years, replaced all the joints and slab repair.
You can't move or shift a project to do Foxfire all at once versus cutting it up and leaving it half concrete and half asphalt?
well, it's just into the first, I mean, it's not a whole lot of Foxfire.
Well, it's from the road through
Through
down.
the first
For the first intersection.
4-way
It's
intersection.
probably almost half. You going through it or all the way through it?
Just to it. So it's probably about a third of it.
So Wanderlust and they're not getting done?
Wanderlust and Pine Meadow will be replaced with asphalt, but the intersection where that asphalt comes out to Foxfire will remain concrete still.
Because it was done just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I think that was an OPWC grant when they did that intersection.
Yes. And one thing, and and I don't know if Ted's gonna go for it, but if we do this project in 2 years, right, it would be in 2 years,
The 2022 project, yes.
doing a lot, the concrete curb work, concrete work, be an opportunity if we can get a 100% local add-on to it to do some sidewalks. I only want to do sidewalks for the park. If we have a contractor there doing a lot of concrete work already, we get a really good price on sidewalk.
Well, the same thing, we make them asphalt.
But
Path from Foxfire over, while they're there doing that asphalt, we wrap that in and make it an asphalt pathway instead of concrete. That will, you know, I'm just thinking, that's using that same train of thought, we see what that is while we're starting this improvement now, see what it would cost to make that a pathway from, you know, nice asphalt, like they do in park, you know, a lot of parks do it that way.
Yeah.
in 2 years, or?
Yep, this project won't be done until 2022.
22, I think, was next year. Okay.
So in 2022, that'll get approved in 2022, the work will be done in 2023?
No, it'll get approved.
Next year, right?
We'd have the money, technically, we could do the project next fall, fall of 2021, but the scope of the project, you can't get it all done in fall, so we always wait till the spring of 22.
So you rattled all those streets off and all the different things you were doing. As you're talking, I'm trying to keep up with you. My mind doesn't think of the streets as well as you do for obvious reasons. So we got time. Let's go through this again. I got a map in front of me and I can kind of visualize what you're talking about. So I know you guys did a lot of work. Let's talk the Bannerstone area first.
Okay.
You guys fixed a lot over on Big Rock and River Sandstone. I'm not so much sure about Bannerstone, but you guys did a lot.
Bannerstone, we did the cul-de-sac on Bannerstone.
The
Okay.
whole cul-de-sac, and then a lot of joints coming out, right? Or no?
Not so many joints on Bannerstone. The Bannerstone cul-de-sac we did a lot of full slab repair on that cul-de-sac. Big Rock, off of Bannerstone, is where we did all the joints
Yeah, that was pretty
from
bad.
Bannerstone all the way to the cul-de-sac, because that was an OPW, that cul-de-sac was an OPWC project a few years ago.
Okay.
And then on Sandstone, we didn't do anything on we did one slab on the cul-de-sac of Sandstone 2 years ago, then we were getting into winter and stopped.
Well, you guys fixed in that little half cul-de-sac. You guys did.
We did a couple slabs in there as well,
Yeah, because that was, I remember. it was-
because we were gonna start that the following year, and we just.
Okay, so with this project, what are you talking about doing in there?
So the project would be replace the concrete with concrete on Bannerstone from Bohol to Sandstone,
Just past Sandstone.
just past Sandstone, a couple slabs, I think Bill said.
Yeah, some bad joints there.
The full cul-de-sac on Sandstone all the way at the end with
Okay.
concrete, and then that half cul-de-sac with concrete
On Sandstone?
on Sandstone. And that would be that in,
And that area is good?
So Sandstone, other than the cul-de-sacs, is in really good shape. So,
and then if the joints deteriorated in a year or so, we could go in there and do what we did on Big Rock. And
So Bannerstone and Big Rock are good after what you guys
Yes.
did with the joint repairs a
Yes.
couple years ago last year?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go to the other side now, Foxfire.
Foxfire would go from, replace the concrete with asphalt from Bohol right to the intersection of Pine Meadow and Wonderlust.
Is that gonna be curb and gutter?
Yes,
Okay,
and then Pine Meadow and Wonderlust would both be replaced with asphalt with curb and gutter.
and what about past that down to Parkview? Or
For
Pineview?
Pineview, it would remain as is now,
It's good?
yes.
we're at probably 600,000-700,000 to do what he
Just
mentioned.
explained?
What Wonderlust is an absolute wreck.
Yeah,
Um,
Pine Meadow's not,
Not as bad, but.
yeah, we
it's-
did all that joint repair on that whole, because it looked like Wonderlust.
Yeah, but it's still bad and
It-
needs done there.
Yeah,
Okay. All right, no wonder Wonderlust is a mess, so that's good to hear. All right, I'm good. So then, going forward though, when that area from Foxfire down towards Pineview, when that needs replaced, we'll be doing the curb and gutter. and
It'll be
at that point,
continued asphalt with curb and gutter, because then if Foxfire ever extends into a new development back there, it'll continue with asphalt and curb and gutter like Lake Erie Shores was put in.
And everything else that's new. Okay, all right.
And to make you happy, to
make
like,
it
you like to do this. So then the following year, OPWC application, you're looking at the 5-year capital plan and all that, and what, you're looking for a project to fill that. A large paving project up in Lake Erie Shores as an OPWC project, and then our local project, instead of doing like an asphalt paving project, I threw out the idea of doing some concrete repairs where in
Cedar Glen?
Cedar Glen, where we've done a lot of work already, and the roads aren't bad, but could use some joint repairs to do that as our local project. It wouldn't score well for OPWC, but a large paving job in a neighborhood would, so.
Good, good.
Being a joint, Mentor Avenue's a mess.
Yeah.
All the rubber stuff coming out, looks like there's big black snakes all over Mentor Avenue out here.
Yeah. We go and cut them out sometimes, but
Do you?
yeah.
I mean, I've seen just on the way here, there's a couple huge one in front of Bob's garage. I mean, it's huge.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I know it's not a road. We were talking about joints, and I just have noticed both lanes. There's, like I said, it looks like big black like snakes laying on the road.
That's an expansion joint or whatever they put in there,
There's
isn't
a
it?
road expansion joint in there, and
Just a controlled joint they cut in the road.
Does the heat bring it out? Like, why are they coming out now? I don't understand this.
over time, as cars drive over, they just get pulled out. They don't maintain them. They should be sealed, and concrete roads are, well,
Yeah.
We already talked about the slow children signs.
want to talk about them again, or no?
Let me get this stick in the dead horse again. Then we get started. I think we're good for
Say
today.
that for next meeting.
Yeah, we'll bring it back to the next meeting.
We raised all the manholes on Shady, Kenilworth, and Hardaway. All the sanitary lids.
So,
We raised all those after the paving
yeah,
project.
so kudos to
Covered
them. So that's something
Who's
that,
that?
okay, John's idea, I think.
Yes,
Carvo paved those roads.
Weird.
Yeah, they were supposed to adjust them, those manholes up. I think it was kind of like a last minute thing where the sanitary department said, hey, we want new castings put out there. Here they are. So instead of just putting a ring to raise it up and adjust it, they would have to go back and put a new casting in, which cut out pavement, reset it. That wasn't in the contract. We were trying to get a price from Cargo to do it, which I wasn't happy about, but we were going to pay to do it, but whatever. Had to be done. Cargo wouldn't give us a price. They weren't interested, so
Ted estimated it at about 23,000, I think he told Bill was gonna be the cost of that.
John, I think you came up with the idea. Service department did it,
Yeah, we did it in 3 days,
so.
You had to cut it out.
cut everything out, took all the old out, raised everything up to grade, re-asphalted everything.
They ride really nice.
I think there was 11 of them total.
Yeah.
And then we met with Marie from Lake County Landscape, with all the landscaping here at Town Hall. She's gonna get a price for us here in the next couple days to just redo everything here, so.
From Lake County Landscape?
Lake County Landscape.
Speaking of, you see Madison Avenue's for sale, right?
Must have for sale, yeah.
But she estimated the cost to be somewhere between 1,500 and 2,500 for
everything.
material.
Wow. Get rid of those things, huh?
Yeah, everything will be
Good.
all the way around the building will be gone,
Bring it
except
up,
the
bring it
two
up.
weeping cherries, the 2 pines on each corner will be gone. Those are staying.
Bring it up into new times.
Yeah. All low maintenance, easy to
Yeah, that's what you need, right?
trim once a year.
See the nice big windows we have here, you know?
Yeah, so she recommended right in the front here, we'll put like 2 skyrocket junipers up in the front and a boxwoods in the front
Yeah.
with some hydrangeas in between, behind them, and
That look nice.
stuff that'll flower
Get
all
rid
year
of this
long.
ivy and stuff too.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean,
John?
Yep, I'm here.
So I'm trying to join because I want to put something up on the computer. Do I need to do that? Can you do that for me? It says I'm waiting to approve it.
I sent you an invitation, you'd have to click that.
That's what I did, and it said ask me to join. Somebody will let me in.
Okay, so give me a fast minute to do some back-end wizardry. You have an external participant we're trying to get in, correct?
That would be me, yes.
Okay, give me a fast moment here.
I just want to put something up on the television set.
Can you refresh really quick the screen for yourself, and then ask to join the meeting once more? And I'm standing by to hit the button to let you in.
Asking to join, says connected, and it's waiting.
Are you sure you've connected into the correct meeting? Are you looking at your calendar for your, like where the invite exists?
Well, Mike just sent for August 18th.
Well, I sent two, one for the public meeting and one for the work session.
That might be the wrong one. When did you send the other one?
Send them a minute apart.
That information that's like a dead ain't really good at.
That's fine, it's good. Yeah, I'm just curious.
It doesn't seem like it's. Like
Are you,
4%.
Chuck, are you logged into your Painesville Township issued account?
Okay.
He's trying again.
I was doing the wrong one.
Mike, you admit it.
It was, I think suicide wrote like 10.
I found you. There you go.
Go back to the years and see what that actually means.
So,
I don't know.
10%.
how do I put something up on the screen?
From 40 to 50. So it's 25%,
Yeah.
but what was it the year before?
Yeah.
But you'd have to go back and
And
listen.
I think our OBs are.
They're actually down, from like 4 years ago, 3 years ago.
What about last year?
They were down too. Yeah, we've been down. Like I said, 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, when Chief Rick was still here, it was
Well,
bad.
that was when I was peak,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
But we've steadily
Been down.
So because it's still on
I can clean it.
You want to do a Chrome tab?
All right, so from the meeting, Chuck, on your laptop there, I assume you have what, like a PDF or something open that we're trying to share, or a Word document?
I'm trying to put up a Chrome tab. I just did it, and it said Chrome tab. Select. Go ahead.
So then a box is going to pop up after you choose Chrome tab. You select the individual tab that you wanted, and then you hit share. There's like a blue button that'll pop in that same general middle of the screen box.
Well, so I thought I did that, but it's not working. How do I undo what I did? I don't see. The present now is grayed out.
Okay. I would present now be grayed out. That's a new one. How about refresh the screen one more time on your laptop there for the meeting?
Wait, I love the meeting.
Oh,
I'll join now. Mike's probably gonna have to add me again.
He's retired and went out of
Nope,
business.
it let you back in. So
Okay.
now the present now button should be functional?
It is, hit Chrome tab.
Okay.
All right, so hit Chrome tab. I'm gonna click on the one I want. I hit share.
For the road department. Really?
That's what I did before, I thought.
Don't want it somewhere, he installs it.
May I
Oh, no.
make an alternative suggestion? It does not seem like it's working in that regard. What if we tried instead just doing the browser window instead? You could, for example, just pull the tab into its own window briefly to maintain privacy or other stuff that's open. And then try sharing the window individually for that. You'll see a preview for it. We generally have more success with the window sharing, but tab sharing usually works too. Go ahead.
I don't know what you want me to do then. What do you want me to do?
Do you know how to click and grab a tab that you have open in Chrome currently and like drag it away from the rest of the tabs and it'll put it into its own window?
Okay, let me try that. Check out another monitor. All right, so we try this again.
Just have 2 monitors set up and do it, Greg. I have them there. I've never used both. I don't know what to do with them.
All right, so
If you would like to write
now,
something this monitor or
window.
my son has it downstairs.
Oh, yeah, I can't
You
see
can
this.
just have like you say stuff.
All right, you know what, I'm just gonna show these guys in here my computer.
Chuck, may I ask a quick side question for technical knowledge? Is that a Mac that I'm seeing there?
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry. I really don't know why it's not sharing the screen with you. It should be allowing it. There's no permissions that would deny you otherwise. Alternative quick fix, if you like, try sharing the file if it's already in Drive, or alternatively, email it really quick over to Mike. Mike could actually go ahead on the laptop there and pull it up.
It's a Google Street View, I believe, right? It's a web page.
Send Mike the link in an email real quick. Or just copy paste the link, send it to Mike in an email, Mike can open it up.
Or we can all just look at your screen.
I need John to look at it too, so just give me a second.
And Mike, in another tab, you open up another tab.
Mike, I just sent you the tab on an email.
Oh, never mind, go into your email again.
Yeah.
Mike, go into, I tell you what, go into Google, if you would, just Google and type in an address I give you.
Google Maps.
I have the Lake Geauga, the recorder's office website, or
He wants Street View, so Google
So
Maps.
just type in 175 Kenilworth.
And there's zip code.
And then go to,
Put the zip code after it, Mike.
And then as a quick reminder too, Mike, once you have the appropriate maps location up on the screen, you'll want to go back to the meeting and then actually share the tab that you have open with for the maps. Because right now, those of us viewing like the meeting side of things, we don't see it yet.
is this what you're?
yeah, so just zoom in, Mike, if you would. It's got you on and then just scroll, so yeah, so the street view is what I want right up there.
Okay. All right, so Sean, what would you like me to do?
They can see it.
You don't mind
Sorry, I muted myself. You know how you have the a tab open up on the screen there, separate from the meeting that we're in right now?
Yeah.
Go back to the Meet tab instead, leaving Maps up. Probably one tab to the left, I would assume. Once you're viewing the meeting again with the 6 of us in it, hit the Present Now button on the bottom right on the white bar.
Got it?
Select a tab.
There you go.
Okay.
There you
Is
go.
it?
Perfect.
Right.
Yep. Seeing it great on the screen. Thank you.
So click that picture on the left, I assume, that'll take us to street view, I think? Okay. Just scroll around to that bend just a little bit. All right. So John, and guys, we've spoken about this. This is where the trucks, remember they go the wrong way and they go into the park and
Yes.
the GPS takes them that way. We had that conversation years back and there's really nothing to do. I've spoken about this thing here. This is where the trucks go over because this is the first big bend. And the trucks go over there, they're up on the guy's yard. And when this picture was taken, it's fairly level, although you can see where the trucks go over there. Right now.
There's a manhole right down in there,
Yeah,
too,
right now,
catch basin.
So there's a catch basin there, and the catch basin is how far down off that level?
Right, it's,
How far would you estimate?
it's 23 inches because I measured it. I shot it with the.
Below the ground, below the
Yes.
level? Is there anything that we can do? Because if
We were gonna do that, Chuck, right before we went to the COVID split shifts. I went and bought all the form material. So we're gonna take that out another 4 to 5 feet
the,
within road right away from the berm.
uh-huh,
And we're gonna, I think it totaled about 120 feet of radius we were gonna form in. At the farthest point being 9 feet. We're gonna put a curb in there, form a curb in, pitch everything to that basin, raise it up, and we're gonna leave it down 3 inches of concrete when we poured it, and they were gonna asphalt over it, but we didn't get to it because we were on the COVID time, but we are on schedule to do that job.
when do you think that's gonna happen? I mean, I know you guys are, everything is crazy, I'm just inquiring.
I'll tell Bill we'll do it within a month.
Hey, Mike, can you click where you're?
But yeah, that's all, we had that, the lines all marked, and I went down and took the readings,
And then turn
And
around
we have to
back.
actually have everything to raise that up and to do everything with it.
Is this what you want?
Yeah, keep going that way.
So that,
Okay, good.
so we were gonna start a little bit north of there, and we're gonna come all the way around to almost to where that first driveway is.
Can you walk up there and put your finger on the screen and show us what you're talking about, please?
Just come back this way a little bit, Mike.
When you say this way,
Back north here.
this way.
Yeah, a little bit more. So yeah, we're gonna start probably right here to the road and then just bring it all the way around.
9 feet into his property?
Well, we were gonna start here, probably at the road, and as we come in, when we get to the basin, we'll be about 9 feet from the edge of the road.
Okay, so Mike, go to the actual, like where the corner is, right there on the bend. So where's the basin right now there,
The
John?
basin is down in,
It's down below that, huh?
below that, yeah.
So it was, at that point, it was all covered.
Yeah, it's about 20, when we shot the road here to the top of the basin, it's about 23 inches
Okay.
below the edge of the
So
road.
you're gonna take the basin and move it into the right of way.
It's in- the
Basin's not
basin's-
moving.
The basin's not moving, the basin's in the right of way. We're just gonna raise it up to grade, and then we're gonna concrete this all in with the radius, with a rolled curb on the back side of it to get the water to drain
Is that
to
something
there.
that we can do as a township?
Oh yeah, we already bought the floor material and
Okay.
everything for that to
Okay.
put that radius
Yeah,
in.
so right now there's a,
And the reason we were thinking concrete is just because of the truck traffic. When they do get there, if we only put asphalt in, we were thinking it was gonna
crush it.
crush it. And we were hoping to have it done before they paved, and we we're gonna leave it down a couple inches, and they were just gonna asphalt.
So there's a barrel in there now, and then half of the barrel is showing at road level, which means obviously the other half is down there, and a car falls in there, it's bad.
Yeah. But yeah, we are scheduled to do that.
All right, good enough, thank you very much.
When you do that, look at, right, because now some of the tree or the road or their lawn drains to that some. So we might need to put a yard inlet or something out the back of the basin.
Yes,
Okay.
yep. Yeah, we were gonna go back to road right away and cut everything down to the top of the curb. So where it'll drain to,
Okay. So
we'll get
then-
everything drained to that
So
basin.
it'll come over the curb.
Yes,
Okay.
yep, that was the plan.
Okay. Yeah, I just don't want to put curb in.
Right, yeah,
Like road
and their,
drainage,
and their
and-
yard's behind it, but their yard's a lot higher anyway.
Okay.
There, it's hard to see in that picture, but their yard's gonna be higher, and that's why I said maybe we could put that curb in, bring it up, and we'll get the water to drain to that basin a little easier, and then we'll just cut their yard down, go back a couple feet in the right of way, and cut it all down to the curbing. So the water will shed over the curb and then to the basin.
All right, I'm good, thank you for the explanation, appreciate it.
Painful.
Yeah, it took us a while to get there, I was probably challenged again, but, thought I was doing everything properly. All right, so anything else there?
That's all I have.
And that leaves the best for last.
I know Rich has something he needs to talk to you about.
I was looking at Harley when they said that, but no road to race. All right, let's look at Rich's forehead again.
And as a quick reminder, before we continue, we'll probably want to stop the screen sharing as well, assuming it's no longer relevant. Blue stop sharing button on the bottom. Perfect, thank you.
Thank you. Hey, Sean, just before we go to Rich, really quick, so how would we know by looking at your screen if there's a guest watching during this meeting? Would we know?
Well, no, that's from, yeah.
We would have the viewers being shown on YouTube if we look there instead. Right now, I can give you the live statistic. It is 4 viewers right now, and I am one of them. So realistically, 3 people at the moment.
So she says.
Okay.
Now that's who's participating in the meeting. You can also access.
Like John Music wanted to tap in. I was wondering if John was there.
He is,
Oh, okay.
Right now?
yes, but he's not participating in the meeting. He can't speak.
So he's just
But
viewing.
he's watching it because his access is from the website.
Okay.
So
Hey,
that doesn't-
John.
Hi, John. Okay, good enough. Thank you. All right, so Richard, I guess the ball's in your court.
Okay, let's talk about the Land Use and Zoning Committee. Tom Hill and I have been serving on that. It's renewal of term time. Before Tom is very willing to stay on, but he wants you to know he has missed a lot of meetings. and he's going to continue to miss a lot of meetings.
Tom who?
Tom Hill.
Okay. Is there somebody else that, I mean, that might be able to attend more meetings that would want to do it?
Well, I don't know that at the present time.
It's volunteer, you guys get meeting pay.
Say that again, Gabe?
Is it a volunteer position or do you get meeting pay?
No, it's a volunteer thing.
I know somebody else on the BZA would be interested, or zoning commission. I mean, not that I want to kick Tom out, but I mean, could make a lot and say he's gonna continue to be that way. If it's an issue.
Yeah, you're trying to find somebody to be active.
Yeah.
Well, you know, one thing I can say, when Tom is able to make it, he is a contributor to, you know, what goes on. In talking to Dave Radaschi, his main concern in having people be able to attend meetings is so that they always have a quorum. And Dave shared with me that we have not missed having a quorum in quite a while. So he didn't seem overly concerned about that. But, you know, they look to the trustees to nominate people. The appointments are made by the planning commission, but they're basically due to the nominations made by the trustees.
If you had to guess, what's the ratio of attending and not attending for Tom?
He may have missed like about half of the meetings.
But if he's a contributor and a good contributor during the meeting.
It's hard to tell, because in the last year, the meeting, we've had a lot of cancellations. We haven't had the volume of like text amendments and zoning map changes that we typically have to make recommendations on.
How long's the I might miss this. How long's the term?
The term is 3 years.
Like what Tom brings to the table.
I mean, if he's willing, let's give him another 3, and then maybe we'll reevaluate it at that point. That's my call.
I'm in agreement.
Okay.
Stick with Tom.
Okay, that's a done deal. The Fairway Pines has filed for subdivision approval from the Planning Commission for Phase 3B. That is the phase that has the building on it that was discussed at the last meeting. And you can take a look at the plat. I looked at it yesterday. Everything looks like it should look. I did not see any problems with it. It does call for the demolition of the building, and it's not going to be a relocation of the roadway cutting into Bacon Road. Next item, American Home Energy Products, down there by Fairgrounds and Minner Avenue, on the north side of Minner Avenue. It looks like they're going to buy the Gibbs Electric building next door and move their operation over there. There's a possibility someday in the future they're going to be able to buy their existing location from the Rice family. That's the Midland Automotive radiator repair people and gas tank repair people. But they decided that they have an opportunity to acquire the Gibbs building, and it makes sense for them, so they're going to move forward.
Their current location, are they totally leaving their current location and moving, or are they just kind of going to expand?
No, they're actually they're planning on physically moving right now.
Okay.
Do they occupy the whole Cage Pub building?
Pardon?
Are they in that whole building now? I can't remember if they occupy.
They don't own, they're renting that whole building.
No.
Thank you.
Yeah. Plus, you know, some of the property in the back where they have their outdoor storage. So, any more questions on that one?
Where are we on the fencing at?
Got replaced.
When? I was just
Yesterday.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I was just there like 2 days ago. Okay.
Wasim.
All right,
But when-
never mind.
But when Wasim's conditional use permit comes back up, it'll be discussed, right, before it gets approved?
Their conditional use permit for the outdoor storage?
Wasim's.
Wasim,
Wasim Abu Nader.
I don't know when his, well, his just renewed like last year or the year before, didn't it?
Yes.
So he's probably got at least 3 more years.
Does? Okay.
Okay.
All right.
His was post-dated, wasn't it? Or predated? Some of the conditional use permits that had expired and weren't renewed on time, when their renewals came up, instead of being granted for the entire period from the date of the renewal moving forward, it was predated, post-dated, whatever to include the years that their conditional use permit was expired. So if it was 3 years and it's been expired for 2, they would have 1 year moving forward. Does that make sense? We'll have to double check and see if they were one of them, but.
So when that does come up, yeah, we should have discussion on it before, I'd like to have discussion before it gets reapproved.
I hate to say this, I couldn't tell what anybody was saying.
That's what, we got it covered.
Okay. Tractor Supply is continuing to work. They'll be occupying that property, I'm sure before the end of the year, they'll be opening up, or maybe right around the end of the year. Now, Safe Store. The zoning commission is going to be doing a site plan review. Ordinarily, I give copies of that package of documents and drawings to 5 county departments, one of which is the planning commission. Dave Radacci contacted me. He's got some concern that we have put ourselves in an awkward position by going the similar use route with Safe Store. He thinks that because we did this as a similar use, we're leaving the door open for somebody else to come in who wants to do a typical storage facility, which is basically the outdoor, warehouse, that mini warehouse kind of a thing. And if we turn something like that down in the B1 zoning district, he's afraid we're going to get sued. So he's not seeing how the indoor climate controlled self-storage is similar enough to all the permitted uses in the B1 district. So, but if we call it similar, then we're going to be obligated to approve similar uses for typical normal storage facilities or self-storage facilities. So he wanted me to share that concern with you guys. He's got a recommendation on how to work around that, which would involve actually changing the permitted uses in the B1 district to include indoor climate controlled self-storage facilities, which specifically exclude any outdoor storage as conditional uses in the B1 district. That's what we did with the assisted living facility, by the way, when we did that one. So what would, I mean, how concerned are you and Jeremy? The trustees will probably appreciate some guidance on your part in assessing Dave's concern over this issue.
I think we're excited to move forward though, but, right? We like your idea.
Jeremy, unless you say it's a bad idea, we think it's a great idea.
Adding that to the B1?
Yes.
Yeah, let me do a little research on it, but I think that sounds like a good idea too.
Okay.
And
then put a moratorium.
My only thought is, part of the appeal of it is the nice looking exterior that they're doing. So could somebody come in with an indoor climate controlled one that looked just like an outdoor one that we
Well,
don't want?
could we put it in there and then put a temporary moratorium on any future ones?
Say that, Gabe?
Why not?
Who said that?
Gabe is asking if we could do that and then put a moratorium on future similar uses.
No, similar storage facilities
Yes, which is what I meant.
in a B1.
Jeremy?
Yeah, I can look into that.
Okay.
I can look and see if we can do that.
Okay. Okay, that's all I have. If Harley has anything she wants to add, this would be a time.
No.
Well, there's been I know you've been busy. Why don't you talk about the zoning cases, the prior conversation we had before the meeting about what you guys are doing and what you're saying? Good to hear.
It's the trend for zoning permits has been basically the same since 2015 when I first started here the first time. We have seen a steady increase in cases over these years. For example, last year we were at about, for regular zoning permit applications, we were at about 350 zoning permit applications for last year. And this year, as of right now, we're near 330. So it's been increasing incrementally that way from 2015 to now, the past 5 years. And it doesn't seem to be slowing up at all.
And then how about the zoning complaints? How is that going as far as numbers?
The numbers for zoning complaints for previous years, I would say that we are definitely at an increase this year. I don't know, our complaints weren't tracked as well as complaints that have been investigated, that have been, there may be a complaint made that isn't applicable to what we can enforce, or a complaint is made and we go by the property and see that, the complaint that's being made isn't applicable, and then there's no record of it. So I couldn't really speak to complaints specifically.
However,
Um,
can I throw something out there?
yes,
Since we added the tab on our website for people to email us, the number of complaints have skyrocketed. Absolutely skyrocketed, because it's easy for people to get a hold of us. I think it's a good thing, but even though we didn't keep track of the numbers before we added that to the website, since every single one comes to me, I can tell you we get dozens every week.
So on that same token though, while we've got more electronically, which is much easier to manage, has that helped to alleviate some of the phone calls of hate calls, people complaining over the phone?
I don't think so.
No?
The people who like the phone still call. We still take complaints over the phone frequently. I think we opened a door for more people to participate and register a complaint or a concern with us. Like I said, I think it's a good thing. It's just increased the volume significantly.
Gentlemen, I'm going to cut this off. I'm sorry. I just saw 2 items I need a question on the resolutions.
That's what I was trying to get there as well.
Yeah, one of them is that sober house, that item's being removed.
No, his financial backer doesn't like the location, so he's going back to the drawing board. He and his backer have to agree on a new location.
Do we need this modified?
Well, that's the work session agenda. Oh, you know what? We do need the meeting agenda, because that was yesterday, he told me. Let me see if it's on
It's on the one I have here.
the meeting agenda.
Yeah, it's on the meeting agenda, number 8.
Yeah. So I can do it in a minute.
Okay, and then Jeremy, are you there?
Yeah. Yep.
Just item number 9 concerning the municipal court case. Would you like to brief these guys on it so we know what's going on?
Yeah, just real quick. So we actually have the agreement basically done and executed, but that was the agreement for that place on Lake Road, the Lester case, where we got them to agree to clean up the property with a very specific list of cleaning up the property. paint the building, that he is only allowed to have the equipment that's already there. And then the most important part of that agreement is that as soon as it transfers from him to somebody else, it reverts to the regular, I think it's R2 zoning. So that was the biggest thing. So that once he transfers it, whoever gets it after him, even if it's his kids who get it through probate or anything else, or if he sells it, dies, whatever happens, it reverts to what it's supposed to be. So at some point, maybe in our lifetimes, it can be what it's supposed to be. But in the meantime, he's got to clean it up. He's got to paint it, and he can only have the equipment that he already has. He can't add any more heavy equipment to it. So we had talked to you guys.
Hang on. Harley.
Jeremy, I just wanted to point out, the property right now is under Stewart's name. That's Larry Lester's father. So when Larry Lester's father passes away, or it transfers into Larry's name, is that when it reverts? Because does that make sense, or does it have to be from Larry Lester's name into someone else's?
It'll be when it transfers from Larry Lester's name.
It's not in Larry Lester's name.
Yeah.
It's not. That's
No,
what
it
she's
is
saying.
not. It's in Stewart Lester's name.
All right. I believe he actually already passed away.
Well, the property is still
So they never
under the
transferred it.
auditor. They never transferred it, no. It's still under his parents' name.
All right.
I think that was this in somebody's report, right? I read the stipulations of.
Yeah, but if it's not, the transfer's not, if it's not Larry's name, the transfer wouldn't apply because it's not in his name. So we need to address when it gets from any point versus just when it gets out of his name.
Yeah, because they may never put it into Larry's name.
Yeah, they could just avoid it altogether and keep it in Stewart's name, right? And then legally they could avoid everything.
All right. So let me.
You're good with it, Chuck? When I read it, I thought the dates were the dates would give you some heartburn.
Yeah, I think.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, dates wise, we thought that might be the only thing that had any heartburn because we gave him a little bit longer to get it painted, which I think was the only real lengthened date. Because we figured with COVID, with the winter coming, but we also figured getting it painted, it's been looking like it looks for a couple of decades. Getting it painted in a couple of months is better than never getting it painted, because that was the last thing that we had to add to that. I think, Gabe, you were the one that mentioned getting it painted. So that was the only thing that was a little bit longer of a date.
So I guess that we need to address what Harley brought up then, based on that transfer stipulation. If it's not even in his name, how does that going to apply,
Yeah, and Jason will be back for our next meeting. He's actually in a pretrial right at the moment.
It's on the agenda for today's meeting. Can we need to get it off the agenda?
Well, we can postpone it, Chuck. We don't have the answer by then, right?
Just table it?
Table it. We'll just table that resolution till next time, so you guys can sort it out, right?
Make a motion, discussion and table? Is that what
Yeah.
we did? Motion?
Yeah, if you want to just table it till because the next meeting is in 2 weeks, right?
Yes.
So we're going back to regular schedules.
No, it's the 18th, September 18th. It's almost a month away.
September 18th.
Okay.
First.
Wait, we don't have September 1st?
No, we moved it.
No, because I'm out.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I'll be here. Again.
Wait, we did move. We moved it. No.
September 15th, I'm sorry.
You don't have one on the first?
So
No,
15th.
we moved it.
15th and what?
I show the first and the 15th.
Tuesday, September 15th is our next trustees meeting.
When's our second one?
Definitely.
I show the first and the 15th on my calendar.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, we can check on that and we can get it approved for next meeting. The heavy lifting on it's.
Either way, let's get to our other meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was looking in the morning. Our first meeting in September is September 8th, and it is in the evening.
1st.
8th.
8th?
September 8th. At 6 o'clock.
first.
Do we move it from 9/1 for a reason?
We also have a BCA meeting.
Pardon me?
We have the
BCA.
Board of Zoning Appeals meeting on September 8th.
We moved it for a reason, but I don't remember what it was. We moved a bunch of meetings to early in the year. People asked.
Yeah.
Is it switched, and I don't remember what the reason was.
I'm available for the first if we leave it.
I've got my calendar where I made our marks of where.
It would be at night, right?
Yes.
I'm available the first, it's at night.
Yeah. Oh, were you not in the day?
Well, we can't do days because
This
we
is
switched to
embarrassing.
Jeremy, right?
I have them on the September 1st, September 8th, and September 15th. So my
First and 15th.
I can actually do either, I can do the 1st or the 8th.
First and 15th.
No, but we switched where we used to be morning is the first, and evening is the second. We swapped it around to accommodate what you were doing when you came in, right?
Right.
Or evening meetings are now the first week, or mornings are the third week.
I'm good either the 1st or the 8th. So, other than the BZA being on the 8th, it sounds like.
Right.
All right, let's get moving.
September 1st.
Yeah.
First and 15th.
First and the 15th.
Got it.
And the first one's at 6.
Yeah, or whatever, 7:30.
Okay. So, Sean, we're gonna have to flip over now to the other meeting.
That's gonna take a minute.
Yeah.
All right.
Everybody's gonna have to log off, and we have to start again.
That is correct. I will need a quick minute to get the stream switched. So, that
Meeting.
we're going to call this the conclusion of the meeting here.